Good evening. The Maze prison appears quiet this evening, despite the fact that talks involving UDP and PUP politicians and the Northern Ireland office aimed at resolving the Loyalist standoff ended without any immediate breakthrough. Both sides plan to meet again tomorrow afternoon. The prisoners are protesting at stricter security measures introduced in response to the IRA jailbreak attempt last month. Jane Lockery reports.
The Maze appears calm this evening, but early this morning, Loyalist prisoners were back on the roof of the H blocks. Smoke was again seen coming from the fires at observation towers. But shortly afterwards, the prisoners agreed to suspend a rooftop protest after the NIO promised to open a line of communication with the men. Outside the jail, hundreds of supporters and relatives of the Loyalists flooded into the visitors' car park to hold a protest. This afternoon, UDP officials John White and Gary McMichael arrived at Stormont Castle for talks with the author of the report into the IRA jailbreak attempt and the head of the prison service, Alan Shannon. After 75 minutes, the UDP said no immediate resolution had been found.
We've put proposals on the table and we're having a meeting tomorrow at 12:30 to continue our discussions. It means that the demonstration will go on. Unfortunately, we're unable to stop that. But until such times as some agreement is made between the prison administration and the prisoners, then unfortunately the demonstration will continue.
Later, representatives from the Progressive Unionist Party also held talks at Stormont Castle, but no agreement was reached. The party says it laid out the position of the UVF and their prisoners within the H block and will talk again tomorrow. The PUP has appealed for Loyalists outside the prison to remain calm, as fears grow that the protest will spill out onto the streets. Jane Lockery, UTV Live.
Hopes of a speedy settlement in the Montepay dispute seem as far away as ever. The protesting workers had a 4-hour meeting with the Labour Relations Agency today, but they say the company has issued writs against 26 of them, claiming £2 million in compensation for lost production. The strikers' representatives say workers will be back on the picket line in the morning. The company is expected to issue a statement later in the day. A 21-year-old man is due in court in the morning, charged with armed robbery and possession of a firearm in suspicious circumstances. It's believed the charge is connected to a robbery near Dungannon last night. There are just over 8 hours until polling begins in the general election, and already the chief electoral officer is predicting there'll be voting abuse. Fergal McKinney reports.
The boxes that have held election secrets for years lie stored ready for distribution in a Belfast depot. Hundreds have already been sent around the country waiting for polls to open. This year there's been a substantial increase in the postal vote and a huge rise in those applying for proxies. It's an area where the chief electoral officer has identified serious abuse in nearly every one of his many post-election reports. He's predicting the same this year.
We have applications, for example, from people who appear to be studying for PhDs, whose spelling gives rise to serious concern, even though it was cut back from the education system.
And is the number of these that you have already recognised giving you any more cause for concern this time?
No more than the last time, the last local government election. Clearly the problem comes, will such fiddles or forgeries or whatever they happen to be influence the result of the election? Only time will tell.
By this evening, all of these ballot boxes will be in their respective polling booths waiting for your vote. Remember, polling stations open tomorrow at 7 a.m. and close tomorrow evening at 10. Fergal McKinney, UTV Live, Belfast.
That's the news. Sport next with Stephen Watson.
Thank you, Paul. Northern Ireland's hopes of qualifying for next year's World Cup finals were completely crushed tonight. They were held to a 0-0 draw away to Armenia. Arsenal's Stephen Morrow captained the Northern Ireland side for the game played in front of a 10,000-strong crowd. Manchester City's Kevin Horlock had a goal controversially disallowed after 11 minutes. The Armenians also had the ball in the net, their effort ruled offside by the Swedish referee. Alan Fettis, deputising for the injured Tommy Wright, made an outstanding save in the second half. The ball cleared off the line by Colin Hill. A disappointing result against a side that has never won a World Cup game. And the West Ham pair of Stephen Lomas and Ian Dowie were both booked and will miss the next game against Germany, who tonight beat the Ukraine by 2-0. Ukraine are still top of the Group 9 table. Germany are second, Portugal third and Northern Ireland fourth, with a record of just 1 win, 4 draws and 2 defeats from 7 games. In Group 8, the Republic of Ireland lost 1-0 to the leaders Romania tonight. Roy Keane had a penalty saved after Ray Houghton was fouled. Houghton was subsequently struck on the head by a missile thrown from the crowd. And the Republic slipped to 4th in the table after Lithuania beat Liechtenstein 1-0 this evening. In the European Under-16 Championships, Northern Ireland beat Israel 2-1 today and now need to beat Germany this Friday for a place in the quarter-finals. And locally, Coleraine have signed defender Mark Hutchinson for tomorrow night's game against Ballymena, and that's for Desi Lockree's testimonial. That's the sport for now. We'll have more on UTV Live tomorrow. Paul.
Right, Stephen, thank you very much indeed. That's the news and sport tonight. ITN will have updates throughout the night, and the next UTV Live news is at 5 to 10 in the morning. And don't forget, if you're voting tomorrow, remember to bring the proper documentation, otherwise you won't be able to cast your vote. For now, from all of us in the newsroom, good night.
Good night.
And now the UTV weather. Meeting the needs of local people with the progressive Northern Ireland's Building Society.
The start of the night will begin dry, and there will also be some clear periods, particularly away from the coasts. And in rural areas there'll be some mist patches forming through the early hours, some of these thickening up to form fog by dawn. It'll be a mild night with light to moderate southwesterly winds and lows falling to just 9 degrees, that's 48 degrees Fahrenheit. Some early sunshine to start tomorrow, and it'll be a dry and bright day through Thursday. There will continue to be some cloud for northern and western parts with a moist southwesterly wind, but for much of Ulster there will be some sunny spells, and it will be warm as well, with highs reaching up to 19 degrees, that's 66 degrees Fahrenheit, towards Down and Armagh in particular, and feeling quite pleasant in that sunshine. I'll leave you now with a look at the summary and a reminder of the Weatherline number.